This is a driving review of the Lexus ES. What role does it play in comparison to the Lexus GS, even the Toyota Camry, and the German competitors Audi A6, Mercedes E-Class and BMW 5 Series? Let's find out more. Thomas Auto Review, let's go. Recent Lexus styling has been defined by this very aggressive design, like someone took a samurai sword and then curved in the lines right here. So really aggressive styling in the front. Even more so in this F Sport trim, which has this darker front grille. It's a little bit brighter, more elegant in the non-F Sport trim. Here also with the headlamps, interesting daytime running light, and you can also optional get an LED matrix. The length here at 4 meters 96 or 195 inches, and hey, the white color fits the vehicle very well, doesn't it? Here in the F Sport trim, a special badge, contrasting mirror caps right there, and also black wheels. They come from 17 to 19 inch, and here in the F Sport we directly have the big 19-inch wheels, so a very cool styling here also for the side profile, typical sedan shape and strong shoulder or hip area. Then what's also interesting, the Lexus GS has kind of the similar length. It's a little bit older model, but it's rear wheel based from the platform. This one here shares the same platform with the Toyota Camry and is front wheel based. And also offers this new or this most current hybrid drivetrain. So the main difference, GS more the sporty rear wheel driven style, but it's actually being discontinued. And here the ES, more modern vehicle, front-wheel driven, more economical. These are the main technological differences. And later on in the driving part, also talking more about also an interior difference. Is it worth the upgrade here for the ES if you compare it to the more price performance oriented Toyota Camry? Wow, also sporty styling in the rear, horizontally drawn tail lamps, nice design here, and no fake exhaust at all, so no job for the Auto fake exhaust police for today. By the way, the F Sport trim comes also with an adaptive suspension. Depending on the market, you have to pick that one then in the F Sport trim, or it comes automatically. And the 300H, the hybrid drivetrain, drives electrically up to 50 kilometers an hour or 30 miles an hour. But, you know, it's more the buffer battery, so for electric moments. It's economic, yes, soon more in the driving part. Car key looks like this, slim and light, why not? And the door closing sound, it's very solid, like that. Inside of the doors here, nice build quality, everything soft touch, really soft here, and especially here for the elbow area, great build quality. Then here the interior, F Sport with its special steering wheel, has a compact size, really cool, and what's really likable, here still hard buttons at the steering wheel, left side for example to control the instruments, and on the right side for the cruise control. Way better than the recent capacitive BS we have seen. Seats are super cool, both the base seats and also here the F Sport sport seats. They both come with a very sophisticated leatherette, so it's animal free. In the US they call it Nulux. In European Union, for example, they call it Ecolux or Tahara. We've also seen that brand name in Germany and the UK, and it's super soft. It's perforated as well, and it just feels so sophisticated. Great job. You also have different colors available, both for the base seats and also for the sport seat. Showing you some colors here from the configurator, from the base seat. And also here for the sport seat, you can, for example, get a color mix between white and black, a red even, or just as it is here in plain black. Well, it's really awesome. Well, the seating position is really sporty, especially with these sport seats. Good shoulder support. Headroom, some left with 1.86 or 6.1. There's also this small glass roof with a manual shade, but why not? You can also open that one. Good seating position here, but considering the length of the vehicle, it's not like most spacious in the segment in the front. But for me, it's totally fine. Interior overview. Soft touch here, soft touch there. Again, great build quality. Driving mode selectors here. Not that practical while driving, actually. Big shifting lever, like that. Good haptic feedback. And still manual control here, for example, for the volume. And also manual climate unit. Hey, nice to have it. 12.3-inch touchscreen, meanwhile. Soon more details to that. And in the lower part, you have here, for example, some charging devices. Then there's touchpad, but most of the time now you directly use the touch screen itself. And here a very large cup holder, and you can also change the height. And here this changes both ways. Quite interesting, with a lot of space underneath, and inductive charging pad. For the cable connection, by the way, you have to use the front USB supply. It looks kind of a little bit messy then. The instruments are not that fancy actually. The only strange function there is, look at that. Really? When I want to check, like the function on the left side, this is a mechanical function that really literally moves that to the side. Totally unnecessary. I mean, why did they do that? Yeah, it just looks funny, doesn't it? And tough to see because it's bright outside. Here, the head-up display, you can also activate that. It's a nice feature, definitely. Here, that infotainment system is a little bit outdated still from the software. Here, also the GPS. Not sure you're going to use it that way. It works, but not that well. And also when you take a look at the climate menu, for example, rather you want to keep it with the manual dials and then really use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto right here. This is a very good integration, very clear. And let's listen to that one here. So, the sound system also makes a good impression, also is quite sophisticated, and I really enjoy that I can turn up and down the volume here with the manual way. This one here, by the way, the one with the classic mirrors, they're quite dirty at the moment, sorry about that. But there's also one with digital mirrors available. Rear doors on top part is not that soft actually, but still quite okay. And here also soften again for your elbow. And that's an astonishing result. A lot of rear legroom here. That's maybe even better than with the German competition. Headroom comes close, but still works. I can put a hand over my head. Trunk button here, hard to find a little bit, but then rather shallow area right here. Cabin trolley, however, also fits in a vertical way. That's actually quite good. Length about 1.40 meters, and the width here also about 1.40 meters. Just here in the very front, this is actually like very wide. This one goes here in that small area, 1 meters. A little bit more than 1.60 meters. So, wow, more than 60 inches. Impressive. As for engines, there's this unique inbuilt hybrid system, 2.5-liter inline four-cylinder, around 220 horsepower is the system output, front-wheel driven. In the US, there's also a version with all-wheel drive, then with the 2.5-liter engine without the hybrid drivetrain. And there's also in some markets available a smaller 2-liter engine. And as well, once again in the US, a 3.5-liter V6 if you want it a little bit more powerful. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the Lexus ES, facing the most Germanish test there is. We have it here in Germany, this Japanese premium or luxury vehicle, luxury or premium sedan. We put it here to normal mode, Sport Plus mode, and then we're getting into the German Autobahn here and accelerate it from 40 kilometers an hour to, let's see, 100. 150. And that's 185. Let's see how fast we can go. 189 kilometers an hour is the top speed here. And it gets quite noisy in here. It's not laid out for these top speeds. I have to get off the throttle because the car is a little bit slower. And here in the Sport Plus mode, when it's fast, steering wheel is not that direct here when it's really fast. And the wind noise are quite notable. So here in this case, the German premium manufacturers are better. Audi, BMW, Mercedes, they are just more silent at higher speeds. They're also mainly built for that. The Lexus are mainly not used at these high speeds. And you've seen also with about 9 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers or 60 miles an hour, not the most performant vehicle, especially here in the 2.5-liter hybrid. It's not the main feature of this vehicle. The main features are to come up bit by bit, telling you about that. But of course, always interesting to test that. Here, by the way, when we're at a little bit lower speeds, the steering feels better, definitely. Also, even here in the normal mode, it's a little bit softer. In the sports mode, it gives you a little bit more feedback. But there, it actually does not have a dead zone area and is quite, offers a quite good feeling. And also the size, it's very compact, sporty here in this F Sport line. So I really like the steering feel and the steering itself. Just here at these very high speeds, it was not ideal. Ambient lighting, there's not much happening here at all, actually. So that's something that is missing, definitely. Here, let's pull back to the normal mode once again. The main differences here in the driving modes is more, how much RPM this car gives you. There are no real gears here. You can fake the gears here. Here with, changes kind of the RPM, and then you can also shift up, but that's not real gear shifts with the transmission we have here with this so-called eCVT. So that's also a thing, you heard it, sound was like that doesn't sound and doesn't feel sporty at all. Guess you'll have to live with that. So Sportman once again, also a little bit bumpy is this road here. Here the F Sport comes with an adaptive suspension, also a little bit stiffer now, but the difference is not that huge between the driving modes. But the suspension overall is actually quite decent, quite nice. 19-inch wheels, of course, you have more comfort when you have smaller wheels. Here, steering feels quite nice. You have to steer quite low, but not too much actually. And good feeling for the vehicle. Accelerating out of the corners with the front-wheel drive only, of course, not that much fun. Also not the best traction. You can also get an all-wheel drive version in the US, by the way. Not for the hybrid though. But here definitely a difference. Lexus ES versus the GS. The GS, you remember, made the older vehicle. Both similar length, similar segment they are in. They are dropping the GS. It's the older vehicle. But the difference is the GS was the more sporty rear-wheel drive based ones, and this one here on the Toyota Camry platform, front-wheel drive. So yes, the GS feels sportier. Definitely, that's the biggest difference between ES and the GS. This one, however, than the more modern car and also the more economical car. Soon more to that in our last driving part. Then now to more advantages of owning a Lexus here, and also with this hybrid drivetrain. So motorway fuel economy, when you drive quite fast on the motorway and cannot use the full potential of the hybrid drive system. Here with this 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder, around 7 liters on 1 kilometer, so 35 mpg US, 40 something mpg UK. You can score better figures if you use more of the hybrid drivetrain, like for example here now, driving downhill. Then you can gain back some energy, or you're in this EV mode, driving EV only. This happens quite frequently. The car does it automatically depending on the parameters and so on. You cannot really accelerate hard in the all EV mode. Now it's on, for example, but when you're just rolling or slightly accelerating, then you stay in this EV mode. And as soon as you go a little bit harsher on the throttle, then you're off. Still EV mode, EV mode. Now we're going uphill, and now, for example, it has been turned off. The motorway difference in fuel economy between this one here and the competitors is not that big, but the city traffic consumption will be having a bigger difference here between this one and the competitors without the hybrid drivetrain. Well, the difference in driving to the Toyota Camry is maybe not the largest. So you feel it, yes, and this one feels way more sophisticated, yes. However, considering the price difference, if you ask me, is it worth the price? I mean, that's a matter of philosophy, definitely. Of course, you have more fancy interior and you feel more sophisticated by driving. You have a different styling as well. But looking at the price, of course, it makes more sense to go for the Toyota Camry, especially because they share the same technology. It's good that they share the same technology, because both Toyota Camry and the Lexus ES are among the most reliable vehicles on the market there is. And yeah, this is kinda the absolute advantage. Yes, it is not that sporty in driving if you compare it to the German competitors. The suspension might be better with the Germans. This one does not feel that agile. The engine performance is better with the Germans and so on. But the reliability, that one definitely speaks for Lexus. So if you intend to buy and own one and hold one for 10 years, that might be a very crucial factor indeed. Also tune in to our Toyota Camry review, very interesting, and to the competitors here from the Germans.